Follow the Equestria Brotherhood by Knucklewolf, Chapter 29, A Traitor Called Two Socks. I've traveled everywhere. You name it, I've been there. Well, almost everywhere. Not like caves, though. Caves are creepy. Before Adam was a dark, endless oblivion, where nothing existed inside his malevolent gloom. He was lighter than air, as he searched tirelessly for something in the deep vastness. And the father reaches to the empty void, a voice called out to him. Faint at first, but growing in volume the more it echoed through the blackness. It was soft and tender, like the calm coo of a dove. Adam, Adam. Adam's gaze spun around looking for the shroud's source, though in every new place he set his eyes upon the voice seemed to call out in the opposite direction. Adam, Adam. Adam called out into the darkness. Where are you? Where are you? Adam, Adam. The sides of Adam's head throbbed intensely, for one pressing his toes down against the soreness. He gritted his teeth down as the sound grew to an unbearable pitch. Adam, wake up! Every instant was creating a bird. Stop it! He shouted. Stop it, please! Setting his eyes tightly, Adam tried to remove the sound from his head. Freaking out like tolling bells, the vicious sounds intensified. Is he awake? The voice lowered. Are you awake? He asked from all directions. The longer Adam heard the voice channel itself through the void, the more clear it became, until it reached the height of its clarity. Whose voice now spoke to him kindly belonged to a mare, though he could not see her. The certain atmosphere of her tender words were calming. Adam's pain lingered, but the irritation stirred by the booming sounds vanished. Below his back he could feel hard roar, cold and loose as it gently wobbled. Then a void came, a pale light that flooded his vision. Blurred and distorted, a shout hovered over him as his senses slowly returned. Adam was awake. A mare, no more than 30, looked down with worried motherly eyes. Over her dark purple brow hung a loosely thin, strangling green mane. Once the roar of the voice of the mare grazed his ears. Are you awake? Brown, the voice was muffled by his dazed consciousness, beginning to grasp reality. What? 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 A contemptuous voice of a stallion called out. Is he awake or no? The mare briefly looked behind her and nodded. I think he'll be fine, master. Well, you better, or I'll make you pay for keeping him locked up at the castle so long. Adam's eyes scanned his surroundings. Above him, the sky was as mundane and gray as usual, blanketing the majority of his sight. To his sides were the low wooden walls of an open cart, rattling and bumping clamorously as it came to a stop. When? The voice spat. Get out here! I won't take it on the rest of us. Shaking stopped as several hooves protruded over the cart's side, picking up Adam's body. The sensation of being lifted wasn't very clear. All Adam could feel was dull hose on his back, and the cool air pressed the top of his blue coat. Ground suddenly appeared before him, racing much closer to him than he had anticipated. Adam landed squarely on his round face, adding a blunt soreness that spread from his muzzle. Groaning, Adam put both his forepaws in front of him, mustering what inner strength he could to push himself up. Feeling the joints of his legs wobbled violently, and felt as though he might fall. Stopping a solid hoof against the mighty surface of the ground near Adam's nose, the stallion chuckled. Tough little bugger, ain't ya? Raising his head up to the voice addressing him, Adam gazed at the pony before him. What? I don't... Grimly whining, spitefully neural. Ah! You don't get it, do ya? Adam shook his head, feeling his mind clear as sight, vision returned. What? You're slave now, pup. The spit tooth boned. Trying to stand up, the slaver laid a forceful hoof on top of Adam's head. Pressing against him, Spit-Tooth sent his face back into the dirt. The fresh moistness of the soil seeped back into the pupp's mouth and nose as the callous slaver grinned to his ear. Don't you think about running away, neither! Spit-Tooth's horn became aglow as a magical aura around a metal collar floated out of a saddlebag on his back, hovering towards Adam's head. It wrapped itself around his neck snugly. The chilled metal of the device sent a shivering down Adam's spine as it locked tightly, ringing out a faint beep the moment it did. You see, this here call will give you a nasty headache if you do. Lifting the hoof from his head, Spit-Tooth nodded to one of the slaves. "You tie him up now!" Lucy held firmly in her mouth. The mare from the wagon briskly dashed outside. There, she placed one of the links into the hook on the collar. "I'm sorry," the mare whispered, stepping back from him. For the first time, Adam had finally managed to find his footing, pushed against the ground as he stood up. Connected to the chain that hung loosely from the device to his neck was a dozen other ponies and a donkey. Scraggly, malnourished, their souls bore fresh lash marks on top of their lanky backs. Standing around the cart next to the teen slaves were 9 slavers. Each was like the next, wearing roughly stitched leather barding, accompanied by strips of black matted fur, holding the trophies of their teeth, skulls, and other parts of the pony body. Like the 2 slavers that captured him, the 7 hunters had assault rifles at their sides, bulky in shape, rugged in design. Scanning the scene in front of him, Alice's mouth was agape in disbelief. Unlike the void, this reality would not disappear. Hooking Adam in his chest so the barrel of his gun, spit tube twirled. "Oh, don't think about using it, dear. We took it all before you woke up." Adam's eyes went wide with sudden realization. Placing a shaking hope on his back, he patted his whole body in desperate search for his gear. Nothing was on him, not his coat nor his bags. It was all gone. That was safe for his pit buck. But it too bore the scratch markings of something that forcibly tried to remove it. "You best get to come to you when you do friends, mate," Siren called from the cart's side. "It's a long walk to the dark mines." "Right," Sweattooth nodded to her. "Let's get moving, old man. We got a long way to go. So get on going to make your gates." "Yeah, Harold," another slaver sparked the slaves. "Get a move on. That means too, you blue pop." Feeling the chain tug at his neck, Adam stumbled forward as the group stumbled onward. There was little he could say in his position. Without things, he couldn't even attempt to escape. Perhaps the same Clark King and constant Bass could help. Perhaps his brother was coming for him. It was all uncertain. After what transpired not long ago, Adam hoped his brother would come for him. He had to try all he could to make things easier by any means necessary. A sharp pain agitated Neo's brow. For a time, serious darkness filled his vision. All but his rare eyes, an aureous glow flooded his gaze, though at the moment it was dim and obscured by a blurry haze. A small room, it was laid down along a soft black pine mat, where the faint sounds of wood crackling filled the air. Amid the strange light was a mare, light brown with a chocolate-colored mane. He felt her hooves gently stroke the side of his head. Knew he could see her in full detail. The carefulness of the strokes was easy. Neo groaned, feeling the pain swell his brow. "Where are we? What happened?" Allie smiled at him and turned her head slightly towards the light source. "He's awake, everyone! He's finally awake!" Neo's eyes fully opened, filling the whole room as the obscure blur was as his view became clear. Returning to him, Allie smiled once more. "We're inside a building, not too far outside the city." A thought came to Neo. His sudden jolt of panic surging through his entire body, causing him to sit up quickly. "Adam! Where is he?" The pain in his brow tripled tenfold in hasty action. Briskly placing a hook to his head, Neo bit down on his lower lip forcefully, Sally letting him back down easily. "Don't strain yourself, Neo. It'll only make things worse." Neo sighed. "But where is he? What happened?" Lucy was at the far end of the room, came forth, mournfully looking away from Neo as he came closer. "I don't know how to say this, Neo. I really don't." Turning his head, Neo felt the sourness prick painfully as he moved his eyes up to her. "Please. I need to know." A voice, charged with positivity, spoke. "If you don't want to tell about it, though I'm sure he will be happy about it." Lucy looked towards the low, warm fire that burned in the center of the room. Behind the flames was spun and twirled in the cool draughts was a stallion. A tan, lanky unicorn strolled with fire to his side. Cloaked by the glow of flames, Neo could see a dark outline of a long, dark cloak. As the pony came closer to his side, the Italian stallion that stood before him relaxed for a sort of posture, sported a shaggy brown beard with a crooked smile. Neo's eyes widened. "You! Yeah?" Stallion stopped. "Me too, socks! Remember the fire?" Frowning, Neo rolled his eyes. "I really couldn't forget you if I tried." Hovering his thin, long face over Neo, he continued to smile. "I could tell you a bad news. That's okay, though, because I know where your brother went." Neil felt the urge to sit up, listen more closely to what the stallion had to say. Even the mere thought moving hurt his head. I know we don't know each other very well, but he had to. I screwed up. I said something I shouldn't have, and now he's. Two Socks smiled wide. He gazed admiringly at Neil. Hey, you're right there, pal. I don't know you two that much, but I can tell you about that blue fella. Resting his haunches upon the cold, dusty floor, Two Socks said, That slaver took a friend of yours? Brother, Neil interjected. Gently smacking the side of his head, Two Socks shrugged. So am I. I'll really silver Raven. Fine memories, huh? Anywho, those two slavers that took your brother, they're split team for South. So the meanest slavers this side of Northern Province. Together, they make us live and snatching up police digging into the dark mines. Dark mines? How far away is that from here? Asked Neo. Leaning next to a set of large, splintering wooden doors, beaten down by the elements, was Wester. Wester's rifle hung low at his side as he guarded the doors, while the orange flames of fire glistened off his visor. Not too far from our position. A few days' walk, perhaps. As going to sleep and challenges occurred along the way. Two Socks nodded at the artist knowing. Indeed, about 2 days ago, they said something real. I went to go to see the TV inside the store was working. When I get out, I saw something going on at the dishes room. They said I've been trailing them. I think you got some kind of sick pleasure out capturing folks and leaving their friends and loved ones clueless. Allie scratched her mane, cocking her head slightly to the side. Who's Bill? Resting on the sofa of his stomach, Neil answered. He's a donkey that travels with him. He's my partner, that's who he is, Two Socks said sternly. And if we don't find him soon, both our children are going to end up slaves for, I don't know how long. Let alone if we can break him out there got slaves in that godforsaken place. Sighing, Two Socks recovered himself with a straight expression. I'm sorry, mate. Got a little flustered there. I know how it is. Neil muttered under his breath. That's why you gotta find them as soon as possible and make them pay for what they did. Neil's heartbeat began to rise. The constant thump of it made his feet harder. Faster in his chest as fear of pain spiking grew. It hurt the most when he stood up, but he needed to stand. He needed to walk. There's no way he could save his brother by laying down on the floor, rivaling his injury against his head. Directing his gaze towards Lucy, Neil winced as the hurtful soreness peaked suddenly at the move of his head. Do you have any health potions left? A few, Lucy remarked. You want to dull the pain? If you give me one, I'd like to try and stand. Lucy looked towards her bags briefly. TC sings a little to lay Hilly up all the way. Sure you want to try to stand? Jarring sharp pain shot through his head as he nodded at her, making his eyes wet slightly. I'm sure. We have to start looking for both of them. Laying here won't get us anywhere. Trying to the other side, Lucy stopped, when a faint magical aura cased out his horn as a ball floated suddenly out of Lucy's bag through the air. Smiling, Neo, Two Socks scoffed. Tough little guy, huh? I was like that once when I was younger. Well, I'd probably still be laying down sleeping. But then again, Bill would be there. As the pulse came closer to Neo's lips, a tone of hard determination saturated his words. Don't worry. We'll get them back. The life-giving velvet liquid smoothly ran down Neo's throat. The effects of the potion seemed to affect his body quickly. For the pain in his head and body knelled with a large gulp. Drinking the potion to its last drop, Neo took in a deep breath, trying as he could to calm his beating heart. As he got from the mat, and the soreness of the gunshots was dulled, but still present. Yet he continued to rise. Lying down his lip forcefully, he tasted the bitter flavor of the blood. The pain in his lip was nothing. Not a pony or a thing could stop him. Neo felt a strong conviction, like that of a tinkling force, that fought the pain in his head and body. No one else would come after his brother. Adam was all the family he had left in the savage world. It was endure or give up, no middle ground. Grunting, Neo stumbled on his forehose as he tried to find his footing. Allie was at his side, a hoof hovering orderly over his shoulder. You okay? Do you need some help? Standing on all fours, Neo's hurt his head. It hurts to stand, that's for sure. But if we're going to get anywhere, I shall ignore it the best I can so that potion kicks in all the way. Does it feel any better? Lucy asked. You know the pain and all? A little, Neo answered, wearily smiling. Two Socks smiled widely, chuckling. Yeah, that's the spirit! With a single hoof, Two Socks entirely patted Neil against the back, sending him hobbling forward a few steps. Lucy smirked at the gruff trainer, snickering. You best leave the beating to me. It's my job, after all. Two Socks chortled while raising both hands in surrender. I still need to know how your group operates. Seems I still need to learn a few things. You better learn quick, son, Lucy laughed. I won't be so forgiving next time. Don't worry about me, Miss Luck. I learn fast, Two Socks replied. Playfully, smocking smile spread across his face. Allie stood by Neo, eyeing his legs wobble and silly. Do you think you'll be able to walk? Look at your worried eyes. Neo nodded sincerely. I do. Taking one uneasy step forward, Neo was determined to find his brother. What he did, they would finally see their mother again. Al was all the feeling he had left. No amount of pain, great or small, could change that conviction. Shuffling along the coarse walking ground of the slaves moved in an orderly single file line. Adam kept his eyes low for the majority of the walk, only to rise his gaze upward briefly to inspect his surroundings in search of things. His mind, the wagon, was the most likely candidate, as it gave all above the other choices. In most glances, inside probably wielded his only hope for escape, the sleeve collar key from the border. The sky above was darker than usual, sporting a mundane dark gray in the thick rolling clouds overhead. Hills, low and high, stripped bare of anything living and encompassing landscape for miles in every direction. Adam felt the chilling wind howl and bite as it blows by. Slavers, with a thick layer of firing, seemed to pay no mind to the cold, nor its efforts to freeze the slaves. If I only had my duster, Adam thought, shivering violently. The slave ahead of him hung his head low, concealing his face behind all four of his scraggly, shuffling shoes. He was a donkey, and not much was to him in appearance. A simple, short brown coat of fur covered his body. His long, droopy ears lay at the rest of the sides of his head. While Adam could not see in his eyes, the slow sway of his movements hinted at a tired warning lingering within him. All the slaves held a silent aura like this, but the donkey was more fresh and more evident than all the other enslaved ponies. As Adam shuffled along to the chain's rattle, a thought came to mind. The image of a donkey traveling with a rugged-looking unicorn trader sparked into view like a sudden flash. Bill was the name that came to mind. Picking up his face, Adam tapped the donkey gently on the back. Like a paranoid puppy, frightened by his own shadow, the donkey jumped, letting a low, whimpering yelp that slightly escaped his lips. The brisk beating of his excited heart slowed when he looked behind him. Donkey sighed, feeling so calm. What do you want from me? Do you know what'll happen if the kid's just talking? He asked, whispering. Adam kept his own fine to a minimum. I know, but I need to ask you something. Averting his gaze away from Adam, the donkey replied nervously, Okay, but be quick, please. Adam smiled. Is your name by any chance Bill? Looking directly at Adam, eyes went wide. You know my name? Adam nodded. You traveled with Two Socks, right? Yeah, I did. How you know that? My brother and I met you along the road when it was raining, remember? We took shelter under a cloud shed and you guys helped us. Bill was silent for a moment, barring a pondering stare in his baby blue eyes. I think I do. I had him, right? Adam smiled through wire. It's me. What seemed like the first time in days, Bill smiled. How did you end up a slave? Turning his head away from Bill, Adam felt a hollowed soreness in his heart. It's a long story. What happened to your brother? You know, the white one. Adam shrugged. I don't know. I just hope he's not. Sighing heavily, Adam shook his head. I just hope he's okay. Bill returned to the lazy shuffle, feeling the sharp rocks of the ground poke and rub against his hooves. I don't know if it will, but it might get better. I think Two Socks is coming for me, and maybe he'll help out too. Adam was silent, as his eyes moved towards the creaking cart ahead of them. You'll see, Bill said. You'll see. Over the next hill the caravan trudged, and down along the hill's bottom was a billboard. Deteriorating, the old advertisement was obscured by crow and profane graffiti. Like a mural of vile acts, the old sign was still standing on weak iron supports. In a faint shout, it cast the sign terror towards the travelers as they passed by it. Adam stumbled forward as the chain on his collar tugged silently. Near the front of the group, Split-Tooth held his hoof raised against the high, facing billboard. I think this is a good place to take a break. Are you got a place? One of the slavers, a unicorn, rose his head uncertainly. Howdy, boss. Leering at the slaver with one yellow eye, Split-Tooth jerked his head towards the billboard. Fine, make it quick. If all you do soon, I might start you never place again. Get going, now! Trying over to the sign, the slaver went behind the billboard gingerly. Sharply drawing his eyes towards the slate, Split-Tooth glared at the chain ponies, grinned wickedly. If you got pants, do it now. I don't think I can go behind the board neither. If you want pants or that, do what you is. Slumping their flanks firm to the ground, every slave rested. Some had breaths, shallow and weak, as they tried to fill their lungs with what air they could. Few did not feel entirely exhausted, massaged their aching hose, enjoying the refreshing cool air amid the afternoon breeze. Adam locked his gaze on the cart. It's the only place his gear could be. Without it, there was no chance for escape. Two slavers, one a mare and the other a stallion, paced themselves around the cart like vultures circling a fresh meal. Time, Adam thought. Time was all he needed. Ironically, it was the one thing he was most uncertain about. Looking carefully towards Bill, Adam whispered, Bill? Turning his head slightly towards Adam, Bill replied, What? How far are we from the date in Dark Mines? Like days. Shrugging, Bill sighed heavily. We shall know. Shoot! Adam swore, scanning the area around him. The billboard with its immense size drew his attention. Peering at the graffiti inscribed in the old advertisement, a thought came to Adam. Looking down at his chain, he noticed how loose it was. Returning to the billboard, he kept low to the ground, moving to the front of the board. Many of the slavers had decided to rest, save for those next to the cart. As Adam crept onward towards the billboard, he looked back towards the slavers, making sure their gaze never fell on him. Across the old vandalized board, Adam felt the fresh mud squish and shift under his hooves. Taking a hefty clump in one hoof, Adam quickly drew it over the paint that coated the surface. Painting as well as he could with the mud on his soot, he drew a large 1, followed by a 4, then a 7. Right below the number, he put an arrow, and a smaller number that pointed to the direction they were headed for. Beneath the arrow, he wrote the word Flipper. Slaver behind the billboard had his back turned to Adam. Through the crimson rust of the creaking steel supports, Adam held his breath. Already, the squelching coming from the mud started Adam's hooves shaking. His cold, sharp anxiety slipped through him. Once he was done, he stood gazing briefly at his work. 147. That way. Flipper. After he did, Adam tread back lightly to his place in line, snapping his gaze briskly back to the slavers around the area. Staring out into the fastness of the empty hills around, Split-Tooth waved a hoofed siren. Mare jogged over to his side, nudging him with foreleg. What is this, Blitzy? Split-Tooth narrowed his eyes, keenly studying the hills before him. I think we're being followed, he muttered. Raising an eyebrow, he turned her foggy yellow eyes to the hills in the distance. We are? You not, you bet your sweat flanks we is! Leaning his muzzle to her ear, she placed a hoof at his side of her mouth, whispering, You think it's one of them ponies that knows the slaves? Shaking his head, Split-Tooth frowned, feeling an unsettling nausea stir in his stomach. Wuss, I don't know what, but I'm getting a bad feeling the longer we sit here. What do you suppose we do, Splitsy? There's a Lee's outpost, not far from here. We need to get there. The sooner we does, the sooner I can take whatever it is. Siren, then we better move quick, aye? Siren remarked, making her way down to the wagon. Aye, Split-Tooth nodded. We need to move before this feeling now gets any worse. There was but a single gunshot that thunderously boomed through the wide streets of Silver Rain City. Soldiers of Iron Hoof Legion filled the streets. Rifles raised as tons of the bloody hellhounds lay sprawled out on the street. Maimed and mutilated by the onslaught, bulky fur-colored limbs were splattered on the pavement. Along the curved dark, a warm blood pooled before draining into the old storm drains of the city. An Iron Hoof Legion soldier stood over the corpse of a dead hellhound. Staring down a wide, gashing hole in the back of his head, he raised a hoof, called out into the street. Clear! That's the last of them! Coming forward along the side of the road was Covert, whose legs hobbled unsteadily as he walked on the sidewalk. On his back, perched on a velvet cushioned seat, held on by a strap, round around his belly was Big Lot. She gleefully smiled as the multitude of dead creatures littered to run around them, counting her tiny hoof and how many killed the moment they passed the body. As Comfort and Big Lot came to the last dead beast along the pavement, she lightly tapped the top of Comfort's hat.
Lieutenant, could you be a dear and stop, please? I want to discuss with the captain our current status.
Comfort felt the earth the last hour, strangle her tiny neck with the hooves, but turning a scornful eye away from her deceptively sweet stare, furtively sighed, kneeling down on the ground. Oh, yes, Big Lot. She promptly smacked him on the head, wagging a hoof at him.
Comfort, how do you address me?
Comfort was hesitant. Oh, your radiance, he heard loudly. She put a hoof to her ear, leaning closely to the side of his face.
Excuse me?
Your radiance, he murmured once more. Stepping down on the cushion on his back, she stood with him, glaring directly in his eyes.
I don't think you've learned how to treat royalty respectfully. So I have to teach you again.
Keeping his own gaze away from her cold, demeaning eyes, Comfort shook his head as she spoke to him. Well, it's clear you don't know how to proper educate on how to address royalty. A heat burned in Comfort's heart, making him want to run first, redeem himself. There was a wall, however, just like there had been when Cyrus stopped him. An invisible wall of pure fear. He could feel it as it pounded nervously away at his chest. Battling like conflicting elements of fire and water, the two feelings stirred inside. Yet he did not physically show the furious struggle taking place. Big Lot put a gentle hoof to his cheek, calmly moving his face closely to her own. When their eyes met, she grinned again.
Now, let's try this again.
Comfort gulped as a thick, anxious droplets of sweat trickled down the sides of his head.
How is it you address me?
He choked. Your radiance. Grinning wider, she patted his cheek softly.
That's a good point. Don't you forget.
Captain, clad in a thick iron green breastplate, stepped forward with a freshly killed hellhound corpse to meet Big Lot. Stiffly prostrate, he saluted her. Your radiance! She looked down, smiling in a chipper sort of fashion.
Ah, Captain, I take it they're all dead now.
The captain nodded. Yes, your radiance. Every single one is dead.
And we have our own losses.
When we headed towards the blasted heaps of flesh and fur, Captain sighed. About 7 are dead, radiance. Though our loss is not nearly as bad as it could have been. Those that did perish are being buried before we leave.
Big Lot purred. Make sure when we leave, be quick about it. I wouldn't want our search delayed because of it.
Further up the road, a glass wire tower lay torn and broken across the street, with murky wire still pulling around it. A few hellhounds were strewn upon the twisted, razor-sharp frame.
And what is the wire tower?
Big Lot asked. Placing his gaze on the wire tower, the captain turned to Philly, as he tried to understand her question. Excuse me, your radiance?
It's fresh, Big Lot stated. Do you know what happened there?
The captain shook his head once. I'm not sure, but whatever it did, make a soggy mess out of a few hounds. At one of the main hollow shops nearby, Scooter and Whopper stepped out of the street. Both bolstered rifle action down cells, fastened tightly around their bodies. As we struggled to loosen the strap hugging him, Scooter nodded at biting, holding loose his teeth. Bottles? Whopper queried, laying a hoof gently on his companion's harness. You want some apple diet? Scooter's summer arc as the vile taste of old leather filled his mouth.
Nay, I got it. This sake.
Whopper raised a doubtful eyebrow. I really think you can use the.
Nay, I say I got it. When I say is I got it, I got it.
Watching the two stallions, Big Lot firmly smacked a hoof against her brow. Sighing, she could feel a faint soreness develop along the sides of her head, embracing the oncoming migraine. She trotted over to the two ponies beckoning for Covert and the captain to follow her. Stomping a solid hoof into the cracked cement, she schooled and disgusted Scooter as he filled his harness.
Get him! What are you doing?
Whopper instantly turned his attention, keeping his eyes front. His posture solid. Skirt quickly pulled his head back up from the strap, quickly began searching for Big Lot. Taking a similar, attentive stance as his comrade, Scooter saluted, "Yes, your radiance!" Big Lot didn't respond. Rather, for a moment, he simply stood there, letting the moment sink in.
Is there something wrong with your harness, Captain?
Scooter could feel his breath shorten as the strap constrained his stomach. "Now, your radiance!" Lifting her eyes to the strap that was clearly fastened on too snugly, she sarcastically remarked,
Right. Anyway, did you two find anything, particularly about my runaway toys?
Keeping himself pressed on his brow, Scooter wheezed as he rushed down his constricted body. "We found out burned out fire over yonder at damn thing Reagan place." Sighing, Big Lot whirled around to her captain, sending her tight keep swinging through the air.
Captain, prepare to twist the move further east. If there was a fire here, then that means they must have been here before.
The strap causing Scooter's breath to become shallow, while feeling started to return to a painful pricking in his stomach. "My guts feel like it's about to implode." The captain bowed to Big Lot. Only as he rose his head, he commented, "If they're heading east, I would recommend we move our troops a little to the north, curve around. That way we can intercept the group as soon as possible."
Pointing her petite pink nose to the sky, she replied, Good, good. Let's see to it, my captain. I'm putting my faith in you.
Marching off, Big Lot mostly with her heart, for comfort to lower himself.
That's right, my poor little mule. Get down so your princess may be carried onward.
Laying his belly on the cold concrete, Comfort shivered. Climbing on him, she placed her flank on the soft, warm cushion of the seat strapped to his back.
Rise,
Big Lot commanded. Transferred the strained load, pursed to cover his back, made his legs ache. Once he stood up, Big Lot scoffed to herself as she took notice of his strangling stance.
My, you're both that I instantly fought. It discusses so where its place is, and you, nothing more.
Comfort grunted strenuously as he began to walk, not giving her so much as a word in response. Shaking her head as he snickered to him.
Maybe I've broken you. I suppose only time can tell, my little pet.
Throughout every muscle in his legs, an aching pain burned. Comfort's mind was buzzing with disoriented fatigue. Yet his thoughts were as big as Callus's remarks. Perhaps, he thought, she too could fall victim to the same fate as her uncle. Like a pickaxe, brutally hacking away at the wall's suppressed emotion, his thoughts started to motivate him. She stripped me of my title. The more the mental wall chipped away, and 6 at a time, she took away my honor. The wall began to split, weaken. Dignity! Like a madman, swinging the pickaxe down at the brittle bricks of wall, he tore through it. "I'll end her, Miss of the Rain. Mark my words, Big Lot." Try as he did, he could not hold back a brief smile. Bubbly happiness bursted from his chest, but he urged himself to conceal it. For there would come a time when his newfound confidence and determination would be needed. With the wall finally torn down once again, Comfort felt uplifted. Almost as though he could accomplish anything, it could put an end to Big Lot's rule. Loud and mighty, the wind overhead roared in the coolness of the afternoon. Neo, Lucy, Wester, Allie, and Two Socks walked along the grinding rocky ground. For miles they evaded the roads, as Two Socks was sure that the direction they were moving in was the correct one. But for miles, in nearly every direction there was nothing. Just rolling empty hills. Occasionally one member of the group spotted a tree, or an old structure caked in one side on the distance. Outside this particular clique of items there was nothing. Neo had become slightly doubtful of Two Socks' sense of direction as he started scanning around the area. The bleak consistency of the world around him made him feel disoriented. Yet, trying along with a spring in his step was Two Socks, humming a quaint little tune to himself as though he had not a single care in the world. This gave Neo a disturbing chill on the hair of his next nape. "Two Socks, are you sure this is the way to the dead mines?" Neo glanced at his pit-bug briefly. "My pit-bug says we're heading there, but you said there was mountains around it, and I haven't seen anything of recent. Literally nothing!" By breaking his stride, Two Socks turned his head towards Neo.
What? I was busy.
"Busy?" Neo retorted, raising an eyebrow. Like a beaming child, he answered,
Oh, I'm in that sort of play.
"Do you even know where we're going?" Neo queried, looking back at his pit-bug. "'Cause it says we're heading east. And I'm not sure that's the correct direction we're supposed to be heading in.
We'll get there! Two Socks chirped. I can feel it.
Negative. Lester replied, I have been in many races around this sector, and I don't believe we're currently moving in the direction of the Dark Mines. Spinning around, Two Socks started trying towards Wester.
You know where science went too far?
Negative. I do not, Western answered.
Cocking his head to one side, Two Socks replied, Okay then, do you know where we're headed?
East, said Wester.
Good! The trade party grinned. And we know the Dark Mines are in the east, right?
Affirmative.
Two Socks nodded. We also know that Siren spit you for going that direction. Great!
Affirmative.
Then we're going that way!
Sounded like a giddy foal. He spun around facing forward once again. Lucy reeled her head back and nudged Wester in the foreleg.
Wester, I think he just owned you.
Affirmative, he did.
Giving him a playful smirk, he had, Are you a little angry? Just a little?
Lowering his tone, Wester sheepishly answered, Affirmative. I feel the urge to punch him.
Bursting out into loud, hysterical laughter, Lucy hit the ground forcibly with her hoof. Coming up the hillside, Allie saw the ends of a billboard protrude from the top of the hill behind them. Hey, look, guys! What's over there?
Yeah, Allie sighed, pointing to the unusual object. The group stopped and turned their attention to the sign concealed by most of the hill. Squinting his eyes, Neil put a hoof over his brow as he focused on the board in the distance. She's right. It's some kind of billboard.
What do you think? Should we check it out?
Lucy asked, moving her eyes to the group. Two Stars sighed.
Don't see why not. Something new. I like new things. They're all so interesting.
With that, he started out towards the new structure, leaving the rest of the ponies at the top of the hill. A little taken aback by his sudden rush to action, galloping at a fair pace, all the ponies chased after Two Socks in an attempt to keep up with him. Down the hillside the ponies went, keeping their eyes honed into the billboard as they came closer to it. Two Socks, not even fatigue or worry, stood at the base of the large sign, gazing up with wide, awestruck eyes. A faint shadow was cast off by the board, encasing the group once they had caught up to their rather spontaneous companion. Panting, huffing, all eyes soon moved upward, staring headstrong at profanely painted graffiti that hid whatever message was originally posted on the board. Neil's chest felt light as he took a deep breath of the cool, dusty air. Every pony had their eyes on the board's center, where there was a series of crude drawings depicting ponies of both sexes performing acts of a crude sexual nature. As Neil caught his breath, he focused his gaze to the lower left of the board. Other ponies in the group started to briefly glance at the rude paintings. Lucy's face turned sour at the sight of the vandalized billboard. Leaning over to Allie, Lucy whispered, What are we looking for exactly? Allie shrugged, her face turning disgusted.
Not sure, to be truthful.
Neil took a single step forward. Once his eyes met the lower corner of the board, there, written in black dried mud, was the message. 147. To the west. Flipper. A racing energy of joy sent his heart beating. As the words were being sparked, a newly laid sense of hope. Slowly approaching the board, Neo stood on his hind legs, placing both forearms on the gray splattered board. Turning his head to the rest of his friends behind him, an alerted sensation made his pupils dilate. Everyone! Neo spoke. I think Adam came through here! Directing their attention towards the mysterious messes in the mud. Lucy scratched her blonde mane.
I don't know. What's a flipper? That number. It's from your stable, right?
Neo nodded, returning to the image. I know it's Adam. Only he knows about this stuff.
And I'm there, right?
Two Socks added, laying closer to Neo. Stepping down on the soggy earth near the billboard's face, Neo responded barely. What do you think about that?
Think about it, Two Socks said. They know some kind of group is looking for him. Not only that, but they might have beat him, tortured the information they have him. Then, they leave us this message here, pointing us in the wrong direction.
Lester stared at the direction. You might have a point. Lowering his head, Neo gritted his teeth. I swear they touched him!
But,
Two Socks exclaimed, gleefully prancing to the sign's side.
It easy to trade it,
he commented, gleefully peering at the sign, rubbing his rug brown stuff on his head.
Or at least, I'm sure it isn't.
Raising his side,
Neo scratched the top of his black, dusty mane. Curiously, he watched Two Socks as he pointed to a sign. What do you say that, Two Socks? Granny, the trader pony chuckled. Never would! This here? Police! He really wanted to throw us off track. He would have pointed elsewhere. See? I doubt they would have traveled this far, being the tower out as they go. He has to see like something lasers disillusive would do. 3. I don't know if things I said prior are absolutely certain. So it could still be a trick? Ellie remarked. Shrugging, Two Socks moved his hoof pointing east. Yeah, at least, this place east, you're on the right track. Possibility is far outweighs the negative. Trying towards the east, Two Socks, who was in a normally chipper mood, began humming to himself again. The further he went, the more gawking faces of everyone silently followed him. Allie's eyes were locked on the trader, as her exes left her speechless for a moment, whilst he searched for a proper response. Then, what now? Do we just follow him? Neo didn't know what to think, as his mind came bustling with conflicting thoughts on the matter of following Two Socks. I guess we do. Neo started to follow Two Socks, moving his eyes to the east. Maybe he was on the right track this whole time. Behind Neo, Allie joined Two Socks, who was pacing themselves closely at their ears. It was Lucy and Wester. Lucy and Wester saw her arm shoulder. Lucy smirked. Looks like he was right along, huh, Wester? I could be wrong, Wester replied in a firm metallic tone. Sometimes. The wind let out an awful howl as the slaves and slavers marched forward to cover the hills that covered the land. At the head of the caravan was the cart, creaking loudly as its loose wheels wobbled unsteadily on their axles. Adam kept his head low, while the chain on his collar rattled softly. Sometimes Adam would turn his gaze to the wagon ahead, only to divert his eyes to one of the slavers calm looking at it. The wagon and its contents were the only hope of escape. If there were an opportune time to look inside, he would take it in a heartbeat. But until that time, Adam kept his wits about him, remaining absolutely quiet. In the distance, they passed by an old barn with faded red paint. Standing silently, it cast an eerie aura that made Adam's hair stand on edge as his body turned cold. Splittooth glared frequently at the structure as they passed by, though often he would turn to Siren, whispering softly into her ears about the unsettling barn. She too looked towards the building with bare contempt. Adam nudged Bill's leg, laying his head closer gingerly. Bill, do you know what's up with that barn? They don't look happy when we're passing by it. Bill didn't turn his head to Adam. I think there might be some raiders inside it. I traveled up here with Two Socks before. Looks like the them old bones just raiders to hide out. Returning his eyes to the cart, Adam felt a chill run down his back. For some reason, that place keeps me out. Sorry that I can't stop thinking about how it'll be when I try to get to the cart. Why would you want something like that? Bill remarked. You know, Sir Erd's panic pulsed briskly through him. I think he took my stuff and put it in there, Adam answered, briefly pointing to the slave collar around his neck. I have a key to unlock these things. If I could get to it, I could get us out of here. Then we can help the other ponies escape. Bill felt a tight knot of anxiousness tying his stomach as he looked down on the ground uncertainly. Well, I think I saw them load up some new gear in there when they brought you. Though, can't remember much about it to be truthful. You have to put my gear in there. It's the only place it could be unless... Unless what? Bill asked. Unless... paused as the ice shiver charged from him again, making himself triple. You got rid of it. In which case, there isn't any hope of freeing us by our own means. Bill grinned, while he head slightly to him. You'll be okay. Two Socks ain't that sort of pony to quits. Adam looked at Bill, as all the outer answer he had in one's head was sapped from his very being, leaving only a cold feeling, never so shaking in certain terror. I said some things to my brother before I got taken. Words I'm not proud of. Now smiling wildly, Bill replied, I'm sure if he's any good, brother, he'll forgive you. I bet out there he's looking for you as we speak. A warmness, like that of sweet honey, washed away the cold, bringing out a smile to Adam's face. Thank you, Bill. A loud, ear-splitting whistle sounded vexously from the front of the caravan, making Adam's ears perked upward. Moving his eyes to the mysterious sound, Siren stood at the top of the hill nearby, with a large grin as he peered at the slaves below. Splitooth stood next to her, smiling carelessly. Pointing to the distance ahead of the group, Siren cried out, "The outpost is just over them hills. Look at us, maggots. We're going to send you up to the Legion. Any of them looks like what we caught." Looking up at the two amazing ponies on the hill, Am muttered, "The outpost?" Bill leaned his head closer to Am.
I think it's a Legion outpost. They control most of this part of the Providence after all.
Am didn't reply, as his eyes once again returned to the cart. The cart was bumped and clanked as it moved along the uneven surface of the ground. It's not certain, but the hope that his gear was in the wagon was still very much alive. High walls of welded steel plates created a large circular protected area for the perimeter of the outpost. The sky was about as fairer than normal, sporting a lighter white tinge with cracks made from the sun, forcing its rays through the dull layer below. Green tents, lined with orderly rows on the wall, housed Legion soldiers, who strolled about the camp leisurely. Long, towering beams of metal were crossed and held together by steel cabling at the center, forging narrow watchtowers. Soldiers perched at the tops of the towers held rifles close to their sides as they scanned the nearby area keenly. Banners bearing the Legion Crimson roof and star were spread about the camp, gently swaying in the dry afternoon breeze. White canopy was nestled near the center of the outpost, where Siren and Splitooth lay back idly, rolled with rusted chairs. Their hose were folded behind their heads, listening to a radio that played on a coffee stand between them. Not a care in the world, two ponies enjoyed the music as the sweet melodies of a mare's voice graced their relaxed ears that drooped low. Oh, the years we've been together, the joys and tears and all kinds of weather. Some days blue and downhearted, you'll belong to me right back where you started, and you want me only after I'm gone and after I've gone away. The slaves all lay together and waited for the canopy, under the careful watch of Legion soldiers. Adam was next to Bill, feeling his muscles loosen. His breath returned to a normal rate. Eyes were still focused on the cart, which was parked across from them on the other side of the canopy near Splittooth. Bill had let his head rest on the dirt as he drifted off to a quiet sleep. Adam couldn't rest. He felt his mind feel alert as the urge to reach the cart grew more and more, sending a buzzing need to move through him. I feel like it's a million miles away, Adam thought. Yeah, it's right there, taunting me. A unicorn Legion with bright ear fur and a short variant silver mane sent out a tent for the slaves. His body covered whatever cutie mark he had, while a dark green cape gently flared behind him. As the captain came forth from his tent, he levitated a side platter holding three murky glasses encased in Aura's magical aura. Each was filled to the top of a sparkling, round drink with a thick white foam gathered at the top. Hovering the two drinks to the slavers, he set both of the glasses down, gently on the coffee table between them. The captain's voice was firm, teeming with a coarse experience only achieved through AIDS.
You'll like this, the captain said. I got this off a few traders that came by not long ago.
Siren and Splitooth leaned forward in their seats, focusing their horns on the glasses and levitating them towards their lips, before Splitooth sipped his refreshment. He tipped his glass to the captain, grinning.
Only for the best of ponies, I might.
The captain nodded.
Indeed. It dates back to the pre-war times. I'm lucky I got for what I did. Some ponies back in Ironhove would kill for this stuff.
Siren took a sip of her drink, shuddering as the cool, bubbling liquid tingled her senses.
Oh, Captain Players, you always spotted us when we stopped on by.
Taking his own glass, Fizz sipped the beads of foam that gathered around the glass rim.
Someone has to. You have performed a great service for our order.
Aye,
Splitooth agreed, taking a sip of his drink.
Slimmy ain't easy, mate. Not when we got spunky pups back here.
Fizz turned his eyes towards the group of slaves gathered not far away from them.
Yes, quite. And have any of these new ones given you trouble yet? Being spunky and all?
Splitooth began to chug his drink in huge gulps, enjoying the russet carbonated fizz, lifting his taste buds ablaze with a sweet flavor. Receiving the glass from his foam-covered lips, he let out a satisfying sigh. Adjusting his head towards the slate, Splitooth went down a now empty glass.
That one's blue one, he is new.
He's only a pup, feisty old man. He ain't going too easy, I reckon. He's looking at the cop like it's some sort of babe or whatnot. Yeah. And has he done anything about it all?
Fritz asked, thinking to see of his own.
Split shook his head.
No, mate. No, I'll keep a keen eye on him if he does. I've dealt with clever folks before. He ain't no different if he thinks otherwise.
By the time you were done speaking, the song on the radio had ended. With the sweet tunes of the music left, another voice replaced it. It was the deep, enthusiastic sound of Cool Blue. And how's it going, my professional brothers and sisters? This is Cool Blue, coming at you live with the news. First things first, kiddies. A pack of wild hellhounds was spotted in the outskirts of Silvermane City. Now, I know you folks like to keep away from there, so most of you don't have anything to worry about. But those of you who have planned vacation there, better think twice about it. Those doggies ain't exactly friendly type, so keep your distance and stay away. In other news, Tiger Company has been sulking about the Eastern Hills. I'm not sure what they're doing, but ever since those crazy guys came in and beat down Vladimir's pet in the arena, they've been doing all sorts of good, helping us straggling travelers down the dusty road. If you have a chance to see one of their members, show them your thanks. That's about enough of this depressing stuff, sweet kitties. Let's get the music going smooth with one of my favorite hits from the old days by that lovely doll, Sweetie Belle. Another song, just a soft and mild tune played, charging the air on calming smirking at Fritz. Flip-Tube slipped back in his seat.
Well, I can't listen to this. I thought the least did not free of charge. I know what you mean,
Fritz chuckled.
Any other outpost near Ironhouse City would agree with you. However, I prefer this music over the constant blaring of trumpet and marching tunes. Compared to this, it's a lot more uplifting, as it were.
As he glanced down the floor, Captain Fritz smiled.
Where do you two intend on going? To Dark Mine again, I presume?
Nice, Fritz just scoffed. Like nowhere else, mate.
If that's the case, Flint started, I probably would move a few miles north first.
Cocking his skinny head to one side, Split-Tube raised a puzzling eyebrow.
Why do you say that? Recently, the coalition has been raiding trains on the northern tracks. For what reason, I don't know. Apparently, it's enough to make them want to take a few of my troops to defend the trains to go through there.
Siren took a few gulps of her drink, removing the glass from her phone, cut on left side, feeling a tingling sensation roll up her body. Vision became slightly blurred, and tough fell. Giggling to herself, Siren's glass levitated towards Fritz and Bobby Wilson. Might I have some more left? Pouring the mare another glass of sparkling drink, Fritz continued speaking to Sweet-Tooth.
Having said that, as you can imagine, supplies don't come in that often, since the coalition decided to raid the trains. Ultimately, making life out here less than desirable.
There was a slight sway in Siren's movements. Her limbs, chest feels lighter than the air, as a tinkling, bubbling sensation made her cheeks become warm, turning them a light red. What's the deal? You know I never treat boys this nice, even we use common gas.
She's right, mate,
Split-Tooth remarked.
The faster the drink, the treatment, what's it you want?
Fritz picked up the glass and hovered close to his lips, smiled coldly.
I guess I couldn't keep a secret from you two, huh?
I'll see you drink on the Tino, Split-Tooth said.
Might as well spit the leads, eh?
Fritz sighed.
I have a problem I'm faced with. It's that food isn't easy to come by. Meaning supplies might be a little bit more than what you're used to paying for.
And how much is it going to cost?
Though, thoughtfully putting a hoof to his lower lip, Fritz leaned back in his chair.
How much do you have?
300.
Split-Tooth answered. Looking firmly at Split-Tooth, Fritz smiled.
Is it good enough?
Split-Tooth rose from his chair, crying furtively and counted.
What you mean ain't good enough?
Like I said,
Fritz said, adding a solid, determined stare.
Because of the current happenings, my outpost has been draining the funds. However, I'll be willing to accept another form of compensation, if you're willing to talk.
Breathing heavily, a great heat fumed inside Split-Tooth as he turned bright red.
What that might be, eh?
Captain was quite sure at first. Sitting his chair, he looked up at the gently flappy canopy above. Returning later, Fritz had a smirk that made Split-Tooth feel an unsettling knot working out of his stomach.
I lost something. Something I hold quite dear to me,
Fritz proposed.
I'd like one of your slaves to retrieve it.
Fire Split-Tooth was quelled, as a bewildered curiosity replaced it.
What?
He cocked his head to the side.
I have a safe. mainly filled with the items passed down in my family.
Blitz began, raising from his chair and looking towards the slaves nearby.
I've worn the key around my neck to it, and ever since my father gave it to me, it's remained on my neck.
Splitsy commented, "Ah, I know the old boy, so what's it for?"
Indeed,
Blitz responded with an unshaken tone.
Now, there's a mine shaft the boys and I use next to the wall to store supplies. Occasionally search the mineral pockets. A few days ago, when I was down there checking supplies, we had stored down the upper new levels the mine caved in. Apparently, the mine's tunnels were next to some sort of underground aquifer. Needless to say, water filled in lower parts of the upper sections of the mine, and in a panic, I evacuated and lost my key.
You want one of my priests to go down there for it?
Blitz nodded sharply. Yes, exactly.
Siren was swaying in an undulating motion, as a dumb wild smile was plastered to her blustering face. And slaves be valuable much, mate. Some better than others. Nonetheless, they are worth more than some stupid key. Placing a foot on Starlight's forelegs, Bluetooth patted her gently, going sweetly to the barking mare. Now, we need supplies. We got no food, no water, nothing.
Fred's grin grew wider from ear to ear. I must say, it does appear as though your current status is rather grim.
Slitzu sighed, heavily weighing his stomach. Let's lay you out of mine. Stretching, Flint went to the slaves, expecting him far.
I'm not sure. They aren't mine. So, if I were to pick, the blue one.